Thousands of Australia high school students include forced more activity on environment changing in protests through the nation. The students missed high school on Friday to allocate which they say are inappropriate environment policies by the government. On Monday, Australia PM Scott Morrison rebuked their plans for militancy for high school several hours and insisted his by the government was dealing environment changing. Lot students told his speech had bolstered their solve to Outcry. Australia has devoted to reduction its emissions by 26 to 28% on 2005 levels by 2030, by the Paris Environment Treaty. Mr. Morrison largest newly quoted a revolving power goal, a pure power procurement foundation, and a hydropower draft as testimony of Australia's advance. He said Parliament on Monday, which we wish is more than training in schools and less than militancy in schools. Asset Secretary Matt Canavan, meantime, indignant protesters by Proverb students would not find out whatever of walk off high school and deprecating. This top item you find out on departure to a Outcry is how to exceed the unemployment benefit well-being queuing since house which yours next lifetime will see love, he said a wireless enumerator. Lot students detained placards critical by the government, and PM Morrison particularly. I loathe SCOMO Scott Morrison more than rather than I loathe high school, one told. High school hit for environment activity protests include been detained in each country equity and 20 provincial towns. The concept begun in Malou Albrecht and Harriet O'Shea Carrot, both of 14, in the country of Victoria. This environment changing disaster is thing we include been thought on for a length period, Harriet told. We wrote letters and did various things but they never seemed to do a distinction. Formation, is our just force. By endowing how on Friday, it's manufacturing a big spot. Malou told, we wish our by the government to recognize openly how environment changing is a meltdown. Halt dig charcoal, halt manufacturing new charcoal mining, selector to revolving power. Jean Hinchcliffe, 14, saw the concept to Outcry increase in Victoria and solve to begin one in her household town, Sydney. I can't fair sit about before I'm old quite to voice, she told. Everyone, all youthful human beings, we can see how environment changing is a actual question and we're fully patient of political community omission. It's very terrible for us, to see how its departure to affect our next, she told, quoting fears on growing sea levels and excess weather events. Reuben Goer, 16, organized a outcry in her city of Inverell, on 570 km, 350 miles, polar of Sydney, following Vision Other plans on Facebook. She had as well been encouraged by the militancy of top high school students in the US for environmental and gun monitoring debates, she told. I believe public print is a big portion of it. Thou always vision these issues event about the planet and vision some students adhere up for things you trust to, she told. I sense Love Australia is in confusion while it comes to environment changing.